Well, back again, students, and looking to the next segment of Learning Objective 2 of the chapter. And what I would like to talk about here is that we want to now explain how to do an internal analysis. So the first thing we're going to look at is what they refer to as value chain analysis. That is, customers want or demand some type of value from the goods and services they purchase or obtain. So the first thing is customer value, and there are three broad categories. That is, A, the product is unique and different, B, the product is low priced, and C, the providing organization has the ability to respond to specific or distinctive customer needs and more quickly and efficiently. The next thing is what we call value chain analysis. And value chain analysis is a systematic way of examining all the organization's functional activities and how well do they create customer value. Now, if we look at Porter, he identified 9 areas of value assessment, 5 primary activities, and 4 support activities. Managers are always hoping that customer value created by these activities outweigh the cost of creating that value. It's not enough just to know what these activities are. The organization's major decision makers must also understand how well the organization is performing these activities. So the primary activities are those that actually create customer value. And there are 5: inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, and customer service. Look at table 4-1 in your book. And what that does is it illustrates the underlying basis of value chain analysis. And if you look at table 4-2, there's a group exercise. You don't have to do the group exercise, but it basically illustrates the role to the extent that the organization performs with more of a competitive advantage than anything else. And what they are essentially trying to do is create customer value. So this technique could be confusing and quite honestly complex in assessing organizational strengths and weaknesses. And why? Because organizational work activities don't always fit neatly into the primary and supportive activities framework. So what do we need to do? We need to conduct an internal audit. And the internal audit approach starts with the premise that every organization has certain functions that it must perform. It's first going to do an internal audit. An internal audit is a thorough assessment of an organization's various internal function areas. So, when we look at our strategic decision makers, they use the internal audit to assess the organization's resources and capabilities from the perspective of all the different departments, of all the different functions. And essentially, they are the necessary resources available so that individuals can perform their assigned work activities based on the availability of their resources and the resources of their skill set. So there are 6 primary functional areas: productions and operations, marketing, financial accounting, research and development, financial accounting, management, which includes human resource management. It's a strategic picture with the HR picture included, and information systems. So depending on products, markets, and industries, individual organizational structures are going to vary, and therefore they may emphasize different sets of functional areas. The next thing we want to do is what we call a capabilities assessment profile. That is an in-depth evaluation of an organization's capabilities to determine its strengths and weaknesses. Now, an analysis of capabilities is complex. So it's not as easily determined as organizational functions or even the primary and support activities. Complex nature of capabilities make it hard for competitors to imitate on the basis of sustainable competitive advantage. Like Ford Motor Company, Procter & Gamble, they have hundreds of products in Procter & Gamble. Ford Motor Company has how many different divisions? So we got to look at all of that. So we do this in phases. Phase 1 is we want to identify distinctive capabilities. That is an internal analysis activity and the focus of our discussion for this course. Phase 2 is developing and leveraging these distinctive capabilities, and it is a strategy development activity. Now go to figure 4.4. You're going to be looking at identifying distinctive organizational capabilities. That is a review of distinctive capabilities that contribute to superior customer value and offer customers real value. They got to be difficult to imitate, and they have to be used in a variety of ways. So we have to develop a market profile, which is step 1, identify what we're selling, step 2, and 3, we need to get information about specific products and markets. Step 2 would be identifying sources of competitive advantages and disadvantages in our main product segments, market segments. And step 3 would be to describe all organizational capabilities and competencies and look at all the resources, all the skills and abilities, and all the different divisions. And step 4, we have to sort these core capabilities and competencies according to their strategic importance. For example, does the capability provide tangible customer benefits? Is the capability difficult for competitors to imitate? And can the capability provide wide access to a number of different markets? Step 5, identifying and agreeing on the key competencies and capabilities. Now that's tough. So if you go to figure 4-5, we're going to look at an organization's strengths and weaknesses. You're looking at past performance trends, specific goals or targets, and comparison against competitors. And 4, you're looking at personal or subjective opinions of strategic decision makers or consultants. And you can read up on all of that. So what are we trying to find out in learning outcome 2? First thing is, how would the value chain approach to internal analysis be used? The second thing is, what does an internal audit evaluate? The third thing is, how do you judge which organizational capabilities are actually strategically important? And the fourth thing is, describe the criteria that can best be used to judge organizational resources and capabilities and identifying them as either strengths or weaknesses. So that is the end of this video and learning outcome number 2.